Hey, this is Tyler from Shirt of Shame here with Joe for the first time doing a breakdown for UFC 211, Miocic versus Junior Dos Santos. We're going to be bringing you a breakdown of the main card plus Eddie Alvarez versus Dustin Poirier. And that'll be the one we start with. This is a fantastic card.
It actually is a really, really good card.
I'm
impressed with what they did here. I'm impressed with what they did for this card, and really, it's for the hardcore fan, but it's for the everyday fan as well.
Yeah, I like how they gave us a couple of weeks off, and so I am really just white knuckling until this happens. I am on edge. I haven't been able to watch much violence because even Bellator and Invicta have taken weeks off. We have had no MMA events for the last couple of weeks.
When was the last Invicta event, anyways?
It was a
while ago.
It was like a month ago, I think.
Yeah. Which these days is now a long time.
It's forever. What the hell? So we're gonna kick this off with Eddie Alvarez versus Dustin Poirier. It's an interesting fight. It seems like a roll of the dice. Both guys are brawlers, but you have to look at what these guys do better than the other if you're gonna break this down. Alvarez, he's a great grinder. Look for him to hold Poirier against the fence for a lot of this. But when you look at Poirier, he's not as good as a wrestler, but he throws straighter punches. He's a much more technical striker of the two.
If Poirier can keep his distance too, I think he's got a better chance.
Yeah, he's lighter on his feet.
Because Alvarez is just going to go in. Alvarez just goes in guns a-blazing.
Depending on the Alvarez we get, you've seen it in Pettis and Melendez. Those fights, he goes in very cautious. But this one,
I don't think there's any reason for him to go cautious in this one. Really, I mean, I think at this point, I think now that he's had Golden lost it, he's going to look to put on just a good fun fight.
Yeah, he's.
It's. I mean, with the UFC how it is nowadays, you need to put on fun fights.
And looking at it, honestly, he was humiliated by Conor McGregor.
He was humiliated. That was humiliating.
But so he's got something to prove in this one. He's going to come out hot and fast. So I think it's going to be a brawl. Probably doesn't get out of the first round, to be honest.
No, I can see it. I can see it maybe going to the second. Just depending if Poirier does keep his distance and does keep working the jab towards his face. I mean, basically everyone is taller and longer than Eddie Alvarez is.
Yeah.
And he can use that to his advantage, but he's got to keep his distance. If he goes inside, Alvarez is just going to probably knock him right out, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually going to pick Poirier on this one. It sounds like you're going with Alvarez.
I'm going to pick Poirier.
Really?
I'm all about the more faster, better footwork fighters.
Fair enough.
They to me have the more skill and the better skill base to really to really take a fight.
Okay. All right, so we're both going Poirier. We both think it's going to be a knockout. Yep. After that, kicking off the main card, we got Henry Cejudo versus Sergio Pettis.
And we love those Pettis boys.
Oh, yeah,
the sarcasm was amazing.
I'm not a big Pettis fan, if anybody's ever heard me speak. But I do like Sergio Pettis. He uses boxing. If you notice Anthony Pettis, he's not a boxer at all. He likes to kick. He throws his punches just to set up kicks.
Ever since that Showtime kick, he's all just been about the kicks.
If I can get on the highlight reel, they might put me on ESPN. Is basically his whole game plan.
I'm really glad Sergio Pettis is not like his brother in that respect. It's kind of embarrassing to watch Anthony Pettis fight sometimes.
Yeah, Sergio Pettis is a much more well-rounded fighter.
He's more in there looking for the win rather than the highlight.
Yeah, he's a great boxer. He's defensive. He's got good head movement, throws great combo, and he's a counter striker. He's got a decent ground game. Enough to defend Cejudo if Cejudo tries to wrestle. Cejudo, he's a gold medalist, but
he doesn't have the MMA wrestling down.
No, he doesn't like to wrestle.
He's got the wrestling down, but when it comes to MMA wrestling, he doesn't quite have it down. He's trying.
Yeah,
and you'd think he would have it down, but for some reason it's just not there. His strikes are getting better, but they're not. They're like he's gonna get outclassed on the feet, though.
He's decent. He commits too much. He throws hard and overextends.
Yes. He's got the whole Chuck Liddell thing going on right now.
He likes to crowd his opponents. Pettis likes to stay at the distance. But Both guys will fight in the pocket. Expect a good scrap out of this one.
I think this one's going to be really fun, too.
Oh, yeah, hopefully.
Because, again, with Cejudo committing too much, it's ugly. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But, I hate to say it, but it makes it fun.
Yeah.
It makes it fun.
Mm-hmm. But, that being said, I do think on paper Pettis takes this one. Even though Cejudo has the better pedigree, I think Pettis is the better choice. I just have this feeling about Cejudo in this one. He's risen to a lot of challenges. He got dismantled by Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah, but that's everybody that does, though.
But he gave Joseph Benavidez one of his best fights outside of
Johnson. Yeah.
So I want to pick Pettis, but I think I have to go with Cejudo in this one. I just have a feeling about it.
And give my reasoning for picking Poirier is the same reasoning I'm picking Pettis.
Yeah.
He's got the better footwork. Like you said, he's got the ground game to at least defend himself against Cejudo.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going with Pettis. Again, I'm not big on the Pettis brothers, but Sergio seems like he's got the higher ceiling than Anthony does or even did.
Yeah. And brief intermission before we talk about the Damian Maia versus Jorge Masvidal. Here's a quick breakdown of another fight. If Joe keeps hitting the table while we're recording, I swear I'm going to elbow him on top of the head. I'm okay. I'm only joking. I've just noticed you're doing that a lot.
Do you want a hug?
I'm sorry, yes.
Bro hug.
Okay.
Moving on. Now that the sexuality is out now.
Oh, too much tension in this room.
God.
Okay, watch our viewership skyrocket after this one. Damian Maia versus Jorge Masvidal.
This video is now PG-13.
Oh, let's get R.
Here we Now no one needs to see that from me.
No. A lot of people want to see it from me. Damian Maia versus Jorge Masvidal. I really picked Cejudo in the last one because I started noticing that a lot of these fights we are on the same page on.
Yes.
Because I don't see us disagreeing on this one either. Damian Maia versus Jorge Masvidal.
Well, we might disagree because I'm not even sure who you're picking. I don't know who you're picking at all. And to be honest, I hit the table again.
Yes, yes, you did. I'm going to smash your hands with a hammer.
Oh, hobby.
Yep. Put your hands down your pants so you don't hit the table. My theory going into this one, don't look too much into the Cerrone victory. Cerrone was a victim of a terrible matchup. And a quick turnaround. He was still weak after that Matt Brown fight. He had some brain trauma, and he went in there with a vicious boxer who exposed Cerrone's weakness against pressure fighters. He's still the same guy who has losses to Benson Henderson and Lorenzo Larkin.
But at a higher weight class now.
Yeah. No, those were at welterweight.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
If I wanted to be a prick, I didn't include his loss against Ally Quinta. But Maia, you have to look at him. He's so far ahead in the ground game. Masvidal has avoided ground exchanges in most of his recent fight. It's hard to say where his ground game is. Let's just, for the sake of argument, say it's below Damian Maia.
And Maia has come so far in his striking in his career.
Yes,
it's pretty unbelievable. It's pretty unbelievable where it's at right now. I mean, I'm not going to say he's world. I'm not going to go Joe Rogan and be like he's a world class striker, world class jiu-jitsu guy. But his striking, he knows what he's doing.
He's a guy who looks like he's spent several years working on his boxing, and it shows.
Yes,
he's not boxer Damian Maia who went up against Chris Weidman and decided to try and box Chris Weidman on his when Weidman was killing everyone. But you look at Maia's takedowns, he's learned how to change things up, and he has a really weird takedown game. It's not just a straight single leg. He moves your body in a way that you're not expecting, and he trips you up.
Him coming from a jiu-jitsu background definitely contributes into that, though, because he never had the wrestling.
No.
At least not that I recall right now. He did not have that wrestling, but he's been able, because he's been in the game so long and trained with top fighters, he's been able to develop his own sort of takedown game there. He's been able to develop that working with his jiu-jitsu on top of, as we both agree, the improved striking as well. So he's got the tools there that he can use. The thing is, will he use them all, though? Because there are fights he likes to just stick to one thing. It's either he likes to stick to his jiu-jitsu, likes to stick to his striking for some reason. I don't see too many fights where he likes to really put the whole package together.
Yeah, he's not a.
I would love nothing more to see a complete Damian Maia fight. I would love nothing more than to see that once in my life.
You want to see the Stephen Bonner Forrest Griffin version where he's up and he's down and he's mixing it up.
Ideally, yeah. But I just want to see. I want to see it just complete. I want to see him use the jiu-jitsu, and then when he gets back up, be competent enough and be able to handle himself on the feet at the same time.
But we have to make an argument for Jorge Masvidal.
It's hard to argue against him a lot of the time.
Yes. In this one, if he can negate the takedowns, and he does have that is a very real possibility. It's hard to pick against him on the feet. We talked about how good Damian Maia's striking has come along, but you have to say Jorge Masvidal is an all-around better striker.
His striking has always been his bread and butter, and
he's one of the best MMA boxers.
He's like, at least in my eyes, he surprised a lot of people with his UFC run, because basically the thing he was most known for before entering the UFC was being reverse triangle choked by Toby Amada in Bellator. That was basically one of his greatest highlights, if you want to call it that.
And that's not good.
No, especially when that was a giant upset. Yeah. But now in the UFC and Strikeforce before that, his game and his career in general has really come along nice. It's really been he's fought a lot smarter. He hasn't done anything stupid. He has fought a lot smarter.
Okay, so who are you going with this in this one?
Oh, jeez. I want to go with Damian Maia. I know you're watching me.
Yeah, I was just watching that,
and I was not hitting it on purpose. I really want to pick Maia. It's
that Whitaker Jacare fight has you thinking, doesn't it?
Oh, Jesus, I have nightmares about that still. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. That was basically a good blueprint for this fight. Seeing
and how to crush my hopes and dreams.
The conquering jiu-jitsu fighter run up into a phenomenal boxer. It could very well play out this way. I don't think lightning's going to strike twice. I'm going to go with Damian Maia.
I'm going to go with Masvidal. I think with him being on the feet there, I'm going to make the cliche that all fights start on the feet. But he's going to find something in Damian Maia's game, and he has the wrestling to compete on the ground with Maia. Again, not great, but effective. I'll put it effective and defensive. So I'm picking Masvidal because I think he's gonna knock out Maia.
Okay, fair enough. Moving on, our feature bout: Frankie Edgar versus Yair Rodriguez. This looks like a really weird fight on paper. Yair Rodriguez has not reached that level of competition.
It is a very strange fight, but this was for Frankie Edgar, basically.
It's if Max Holloway wins, they want to get Frankie Edgar back in the title picture. He's a good draw. He's liked. He has a good fan base.
Who doesn't love Frankie Edgar?
And if Yair wins, nobody loses.
Not really, because then you have a new guy rising up the ranks, way up the ranks.
A fantastic striker who will corner that Mexican market.
You have your Mexican star that won't be injured after every single fight for 12 months at a time.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm looking at you, Cain Velasquez.
But if Yair is going to win this one, he needs to calm the hell down when it comes to the spinning shit. Even BJ was capable of taking him down several times, and Frankie is a much more substantial wrestler. Frankie is going to be watching for those kicks. He's going to be able to take you down.
Yes, he will. And if Yair goes for the spinning shit again, it's a no-win situation, basically. Yeah. I'm just going to say right now, I'm picking Frankie Edgar because there's no reason for me to pick Rodriguez right now.
Same here, but I have to say, if Yair is going to win this one, it'll be inside the clinch. You can't just take away all of his weapons.
He's going to have to slow him down.
Yeah,
he's going to have to slow down Frankie Edgar, which itself is a tough thing to do.
Yep, you can't throw those kicks, so you can't rely on boxing against Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar's a phenomenal boxer as well. So his path to victory is get inside the clinch, throw him in with some dirty boxing and knees, but do not give Frankie a leg to take you down.
Yair has to win ugly if he's going to win at all.
Yeah.
He has to make it ugly. It's not going to be pretty if he wants to win. If it's a fun fight, it's going to be Frankie's. And I'm picking Frankie because, as I said, I don't see a reason to pick Rodriguez at the moment.
And you're not going to knock out Frankie Edgar. It's not going to happen. You can drive a truck into the octagon and run him over, and he's still going to secure the next 3 rounds.
2 words. Gray Maynard.
Moving on. After that, we got Joanna Jędrzejczyk, defending champion, against Jessica Andrade.
Now, we're going to have the same pick for this one, I'm assuming.
Probably.
How do you pick against Joanna champion?
She's too tough, she's too fast, and
she's too much everything.
Once she gets going, it's hard to stop her. Andrade,
Andrade probably has to get it on the ground to win, but getting Joanna to the ground should probably be given like a medal for doing it.
She's good enough to defend herself. She was in a bad position for the first 2.5 rounds of that Claudia Gadelha match, and she was able to protect herself enough to secure those last 3 rounds in dominant fashion.
Yeah.
Jessica Andrade, she likes to fight in the pocket. She constantly drops her hands, though. Very Chuck Liddell-esque. She whips out her punches, loads up on every one of them.
And she's not nearly as fast either.
No,
she's not nearly as fast. Joanna's just gonna eat her alive, basically, and it's not gonna be fun it's not gonna be a fun night for Andrade or her family or her corner for that matter.
I want to see the Butcher come back, the one that busted up Carla Esparza and Jessica Penne. I want to see that one again. I don't want to see even matches like with Claudia Gadelha and Karolina Kowalkiewicz and Valerie Letourneau. I want to see a massacre again. Make Joanna great again.
This will be her Anderson Silva versus like Forrest Griffin fight here.
Ooh, let's hope.
Where awesome. She's gonna pick apart Andrade. Andrade has no hope. She
I'm not gonna do that. And finally, our main event: Stipe Miocic versus Junior Dos Santos. Looking at you got to look at their first fight for this one. Miocic was just coming into his own. He's just coming off a victory over Roy Nelson, and I can't remember who else he'd fought at that point. Either. But he was looking good. He was not the champ yet. He was not that guy who was going out and carving a bloody swath through the heavyweight division.
No. He basically was a better step than Struve at that point. But now Miocic is on his own right now. He has become a phenomenal fighter in his own right. His boxing is just great. Yeah. It's great and it's fun to watch.
But to that point, you go back and you watch that first fight, you see that JDS was a better boxer. He's a better all-around striker. And you can see in the Ben Rothwell fight that JDS still has that in him. He is still that guy.
He is still that guy, but he is getting older, and I think his age could play a factor in this fight. Not to mention, I think at this point for Dos Santos, he's already been at the top of the mountain. Thank you.
I just realized
it only took the entire card to point the camera this way.
Yeah, let's do it for the last fight.
But I mean, Dos Santos has been to the top of been to the top of the hill in what I believe was the most watched fight in UFC history. On top of that, at the very first Fox card, it's. I think at this point it's more about probably picking up a paycheck at this point, and I don't mean that in a negative way that he's just going out there, make some money, and go home. I mean, he's been to the top. It's going to be extremely hard to get back with how the heavyweight division is. It's a very, very hard thing with anyone being able to knock out anyone at any point.
Oh, no, this is going to be a cardio match. I don't think anybody should be going into this looking for an early takedown. I've been hearing some interviews with Junior, and he is looking for that early finish. And I don't like that.
And I was going to say that too, and I think that's where he's going to lose it. Yeah. He's going to go in, try and knock out Miocic right away, which, to be fair, he might.
A couple of years ago, we would say that. He almost knocked out Kane 3 fights in a row.
Yeah, but Kane also sent the blueprint out on how to beat how to beat Dos Santos, and it's. I mean, Miocic is a talented enough fighter that he can redo that blueprint, or he will mount those punches up. Just keep hitting him.
I said a moment ago, Junior was the much better striker. I think Miocic is a much better fighter. He needs to learn what he did good in that first fight and improve on his successes. Don't work on just making your striking better. Vary your approach. Go for more takedowns, because Junior, if you shoot in on him, that's hard to say. Shoot in on him. He has to defend the takedown, push away, reset, and then go back to boxing. In that couple of seconds, Junior's hands are down. They take a second to come up. That's when Miocic needs to let loose a combo that's going to stagger him back. And that's where he's going to take off with the stats.
That's where he could, yeah. I'm not sure what else to say about this one. I think he broke it all down, really. Yeah. So who are you going to take for this fight?
I'm going to say Miocic by decision in this one.
I'm going to be different and pick Dos Santos by knockout in second.
Ooh.
Because
bold.
I'm a bold man.
Yeah. I had to wildly pick Cejudo, and you decided to wildly pick Dos Santos.
I just picked Dos Santos out of nowhere.
Why not? Yeah. Fair enough. All right, so we'll meet back here for UFC 212. I think that's the Holloway Aldo card.
I think so. We will.
That's another good card coming up.
We will definitely revisit.
Yep. And once again, this is Tyler and Deadweight Joe, and we will see you next time. More likely me, maybe Joe next time. Let's see how you people like him. Leave a comment saying how much you hate him and how my beard is better.